Right now, you can catch Stefano Fusaro, who joins us live from the San Antonio Riverwalk this morning. Stefano, Dubs looking to sweep the Spurs tonight, advance now to their third straight finals. What did interim head coach Mike Brown say about the depth of that roster?
Well, you know, it was pretty funny because he was asked about if he's ever been part of a team that had this many different types of players that can play the center position. You know, obviously, we're talking about Zaza Pachulia, David West, Draymond Green, and JaVale McGee, but he made sure to let us know that the embarrassment of riches he has isn't just at that center position.
In my coaching career, I've never had anything like this. Center, forward, small forward, two guard, shooting guard. The interesting part about it is they're all different. I mean, when you talk about the four guys that we play at the center position, it makes it easy on us to be able to figure out how to attack different matchups, not only offensively, but defensively too, because they each bring something different to the table. So it's a luxury that we have as a staff, as a team. But more importantly, I think our guys individually feel great about being able to contribute in different ways based on what their skill set is.
Keep in mind that this is a guy who coached LeBron James for 5 seasons in Cleveland and was also an assistant coach on the 2003 championship team here with Greg Popovich and the Spurs, but obviously no team has impressed him as much as the team he's coaching right now.
All due respect to those earlier LeBron James Cavs teams, it was LeBron James and Boobie Gibson. Let's talk about Golden State. 120 points in their Game 3 win over the Spurs. What was the team, what were the players saying at practice about their performance?
Well, they hold themselves to a high standard, and obviously that's what they expect coming into this series. But they want to be as close to perfection as possible. And even though they understand that the Spurs are a very depleted team right now with all the injuries, they're, you know, winning by 12 in Game 3 on the road, it's just not enough for them.
It's 2 Game 4s throughout the series. We've been playing well. We want to just keep it going. So. And we want to be better than we were last night, I think. That's the main thing. We watched some film and seen where we were a little bit too relaxed and not playing with the edge that we played with Game 2. We played with it in spurts, but we got to put together a whole game, so hopefully tomorrow is even better.
It's pretty scary to think that, you know, they could actually be better, and not just for the Spurs, but actually for the entire league, considering they can be together for a pretty long time. And you can bet that they saw what happened last night with the Celtics and the Cavs, and they understand they got to play a lot harder to just make sure that that doesn't happen tonight here in Game 4 in San Antonio.
All right, Golden State can become the first team in history to start the playoffs 12-0 if they get that win. That's Stefano Fusaro with us this morning on SportsCenter AM. Let's throw it over to Kevin.
Rainey, thank you so much. Back here with Antonio. Are you buying that what you saw in Game 3, this whole narrative that KD's putting out there?
Listen, if you want to win a championship, you always got to feel like there's room to get better.
Yeah.
You can't be satisfied with beating a team without Kawhi, without Tony Parker by 12. You can't turn the ball over 21 times. There are good things to take from it, but in going to the next game, you try to make sure that you are dotting all the I's and crossing all the T's and making sure that your rotations are right, guys are where they're supposed to be, there's no let up defensively or offensively. You want to go in and crush guys from the jump ball to the end of the fourth quarter. So I think when you look at this team, they're saying all the right things so that they can have a chance to continue this momentum and get to the finals.
Inside the locker room, is he saying the same thing, or they're just like, we're good, but we're putting this out there now publicly?
The guys who are supposed to be saying those type of things,
yes,
the Kevin Durant and Steph and the coach, yes, they're supposed to be saying that. Some of the other guys will be like, come on, man. What you talking about, man? We good. We're
good?
Really good.
Yes. Yeah, we all know what's going inside. All right, Antonio.
Building is close it out in Game 4.
Yeah, you know, and again, been saying this the whole time, team's not just going to lay down for us. The building's going to be energized, the group's going to be ready to play, and so we have to make sure that we come out and we play the right way. And just like I'm sure they were, we weren't happy with everything that we did on the floor last night, but we did do some good things, and hopefully we can do even better things tomorrow night.
All right, KD, probably a reason you brought him here like last night. 19-point third quarter, and 33 came in when a lot of guys were off last night.
Yeah, he had a phenomenal third quarter, but what we liked more than anything else is, you know, he came down and he scored in the pick and roll some, but his movement off the ball, when he gave it up a couple of times, and he made the right cuts, and sometimes he'd go screen away and then he'd slip. It was phenomenal basketball. We talked to him about that today, and last night we felt was one of his better games of moving without the basketball, even though he scored a lot with the ball in his hands.
Mike, you said before the series that Patty Mills, taking his motorways and that Energizer Bunny is going to be a critical priority, and Clay's chased him off the three-point line and really hounded him. How have you seen that defensive effort really just stifle what that backcourt can produce?
Well, we said it a couple of times already. They were 40-4 when Patty scored over 10 points during the regular season, and he had a huge impact, we thought, in the Houston series. And so, we wanted to make sure it was a point of emphasis for us to try to make his life as tough as possible and not give him any clean, open looks. And he's had a few, and when he has, he's knocked them down. But you got to give Clay credit first, and then the rest of our team credit after that, because they've helped out in a lot of different situations. But we're asking Clay to chase and dog a guy like that constantly moves. It takes a lot out of you on both ends of the floor to have that type of assignment. But Clay's taking on the challenge, and he's doing a fantastic job with it.
And he was able to do that last night and still produce offensively. Kind of, how did you see him get into that rhythm? But, he probably been missing a little bit there earlier in the season.
Yeah, but, we're not ever worried about Clay's shooting. We know that he's a great shooter, if not the best in the world. He's one of the best in the world. And from time to time, guys miss. And we felt he was getting good looks, and he was just missing. And you can't leave him open for long, because when you do, he'll definitely make you pay. And we thought that he was terrific in making shots last night, but he's been great the whole playoffs at driving and kicking the basketball. He was fantastic against Utah, especially getting into the teeth of the defense, making plays for others. And even last night, he made some great driving kicks that got other guys going.
What went into the decision to keep Steph in with 3 fouls last night?
Just a matter of knowing that I can trust a guy like that. We've done it before. We trusted certain guys on the team in certain situations, and so I just felt like I took him out 4 minutes ago I think in the first, because he had picked up his second, and I didn't want to break his rhythm that bad. You got a player like Steph, and yeah, he's more than capable of going crazy at any time offensively, but I felt like to take him out at that point would disrupt the rhythm, not only for him individually, but for the team too. So I trust him, and he came through.
In your mind, has he been the same player in this postseason that he was the past 2 years when he won MVP?
I think so. I think he's playing at an extremely high level. I mean, I don't know what his numbers are exactly. I know they're very, very good. They're probably close to being at a historical level right now. But he's doing a lot of things that are really good for us, besides scoring and shooting the basketball. I mean, defensively, he was fantastic. I just told him, hey, on the weak side of the floor last night, you were fantastic. Not good, but he was fantastic. He read some plays on the weak side of the floor where he came up with some steals and or some deflections that were instrumental in us breaking out the other way. His rebounding, I mean, he's gotten the mix and come up with some big rebounds for us. Hadn't turned the ball over. He's done a nice job setting his teammates up. So his all-around game has been, in my opinion, phenomenal.
Mike, how do you think Andre did and was doing, especially physically with the team?
I thought he did okay. He'd been out for a couple of games, and we haven't really practiced him. So, in terms of scrimmaging and stuff like that. So I think last night might have been one of his first times having contact, and so it was more or less, I think, a rhythm thing for him. And I think going forward, the more he's out on the floor, that's the more he'll get his rhythm back.
In your coaching career, have you ever had a center spot you can enjoy like this one with all these different guys that short years?
In my coaching career, I've never had anything like this. Center, forward, small forward, 2 guard, shooting guard. No.
How about the center, though?
Oh, the center. Okay.
Last question, then we're going to get to Steph.
No, the interesting part about it is they're all different. And when you talk about the 4 guys that we play at the center position, it makes it easy on us to be able to figure out how to attack different matchups, not only offensively but defensively too, because they each bring something different to the table. So it's a luxury that we have as a staff, as a team. But more importantly, I think our guys individually feel great about being able to contribute in different ways based on what their skill set is.
Is there a Zaza update?
No Zaza update. Still the same.